just give it a sec. Let anyone pop in who wants to pop in, and I guess I'll dive right on into it. Hopefully the music's not too loud. Let me know if it's overly distracting or if I need to turn it down or something. If anyone even listens to this, I might just be talking to myself the whole time, but hey, might as well give this some practice. Alright, can you guys hear me okay? Oh, yeah, let's see if anyone's even watching. Oh yeah, okay. There's at least one person watching, so hey, that makes me feel good. Dope, okay. Alright, well let's take a quick look at Bitcoin and see what it's up to. Basically followed exactly what I had hoped it would do. I've, spammed it quite a few times in group, but we're forming this wedge on the hourly. Initially broke out, but failed to hold that level. You can see the hourly MAs held us up quite nicely. As I was hoping, we'd go for the breakout attempt once more and hold. This red candle here was a little intimidating. Price went back inside, but failed to close back in, which is a great sign for bulls. And yeah, ever since last night, we've rallied. We cracked through the 9.1 resistance. Look to be bear flagging right now. I had this drawn this morning. Perfectly well, might come back to this resistance level. Just seeing that, it's been respected as an SR before. And the MAs are, for now, just below that support. So it would make a lot of sense if we tap against this level at least once. But it would also show clear strength if we broke through this trend line here and just went for even higher highs. So we'll see what happens in the next handful of hours, which I'm cautiously bullish for the time being. I think until closer to the halving, we'll see some continuation. I know that there was a lot of bearish sentiment on Twitter the past few days, but this just doesn't look bearish to me. This doesn't look like something that's suddenly just going to fall, unless it's extremely manipulated and someone just wants to somehow fuck a lot of people. But I think it would take a lot of effort to just send it back to these high 8s. So we'll see what happens. But overall, looks quite healthy to me. I'll go to the daily chart. Get rid of all this. Once again, looks perfectly healthy to me. We had this massive drop that everyone and their mom knows about back at the beginning of March. We've reclaimed these levels just fine. Retested. Now we're continuing on. Let's look at the heat map. See if there's any massive orders in our way. Just let this load up real quick. You can see there's this massive order down here, $6 million back at 915. I don't even know if that's going to get filled. And I did have drawings here. I guess they're gone for whatever reason. I'll have to fix that. But as you can see, there's no big orders in our way to stop us. There was How much is this? There was 3 million, but it's since vanished, and this wall of 4 million since vanished. And there's, you know, the next wall is 13 million at 10k. That's a pretty significant wall, but yeah. Until then, it's basically free skies, at least on this exchange. Yeah, okay, I'll turn down the music. Hold on. Is that better? Can you hear me all right? Is that still too loud? I can turn it down. Turn it down a bit more. I need to have something playing in the background. Yeah, that should be good, hopefully. Let me know if it's still too loud and I'll go back and fix it. So yeah, for those just joining in now, I'm just taking a look at the Bitcoin macro perspective. We looked at the micro, everything looks healthy. And yeah, we have the next wall at 10k, so let's mark out that $10,000 mark. So that's, yeah, that's there. So we have a nice almost 8% gap until the next real wall of resistance. So I wouldn't look into, it's okay, all right. Cool. Sorry, I was looking at Discord. So yeah, looks good, looks healthy. I'm not in a rush to short this by any means. I see everyone, you know, still trying to rush into shorting it. 4 hour looks extremely healthy. We've been basically riding these MAs the entire way up. Now we're literally on top of them all. Seem to be kind of struggling with this level. Rejected here and kind of closed above here, which I guess is a positive sign, but yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna rush into shorting this anytime soon. So we'll see what happens. So I guess what's next? I'm not sure if you guys read. I think the best way for me to teach you guys how I see charts is to go through some of the biggest gainers that we've, you know, caught together and kind of give you guys a rundown starting from scratch as to why I thought they were you know, good choices and, you know, what visually stood out. So I'm going to look at ZIL first. This one has just recently, as I'm sure you guys know, hit resistance and fully filled us at our bid zone. So I guess first rule of thumb when looking at a chart, open your daily, zoom the fuck out. It honestly helps so much. Like I see a lot of you guys that are like, you know, looking at the daily and you see like this many candles. It's pretty damn difficult / impossible to get an understanding of like the macro trend of a coin if you can only see like, you know, a month's worth of price history. But as you guys see in my charts, I like to zoom out, make it so that the chart is still perfectly clear, but I have all this price history all the way back to July of 2018, and that gives me a really good idea of what's going on with the coin, and you know what it's done and what that tells us about, you know, potentially the short to midterm future of it. So ZIL. So let's can even zoom out a little further to start with. As you can see, ZIL has gotten absolutely annihilated. This, at one point, was worth 2,500 sats. That's pretty crazy. And as you can see, ever since then, it's had drastic fall downs, no stopping on the way. This would be a dead cat bounce, just seeing that prices has been here before as a support. Dead cat bounce, you know, bleed off another bounce to try and save its life, but nothing could stop it, you know, bounce, lower high, lower low, lower high, and just getting absolutely whomped. So what really caught my eye, if we can even use this replay feature, get us back to let's go back to here, I guess. So, as you can see, these massive drops, at least for the time being, have stopped. The gaps between each drop are also getting smaller and smaller. There's a bit of a bounce, it's just kind of the momentum slowing down in regards to the downside. So we kind of form this at least temporary base / hopeful bottom. From it going 2,500 sats to 78, you kind of have to hope that it's it's calmed down a bit. But as you can see, we start this kind of sideways action, and in trading, I'm sure some of you guys know this is in a sense, accumulation phase, or at least a hopeful accumulation phase. There's still not really much stopping it from going down further, but hey, we'll start here. We'll mark some levels. As you can see, we've kind of tested this area twice. Bang, bang. We haven't closed below, so we're having an equal high between these two, and no close below yet. So we can, for now, consider that our bottom. So that's good. Let this play out for a little bit. For now, we can now set this as our top, seeing that price, since we've bottomed out, has not gone higher than that. So let's just kind of mark that as our high for now. It might change, but for now that kind of helps determine our range. So you can see price going below here but not closing it. If it closes, then we might have to move our range down a little bit, but nope, it continues to hold on to this horizontal level. That's a pretty big sign right there that someone does not want price to go below there. They've decided upon themselves that that's the bottom. Wicks are fine. If you're zooming in on like the 5-minute time frame, you're gonna be like, oh no, it's closed, price below. But that's why sticking to the daily time frame is key, in my opinion. Price can do whatever it wants. It can do all this crazy stuff down here, but as long as it comes back and reclaims and closes on the daily time frame, that's pretty significant. So, oh crap. Oh, well, that moved actually. That's the 3-day time frame. So sorry about that, guys. That played a lot quicker than I wanted to. But anyway, we have our low, which can be slightly moved. And there's this. I had it on my previous chart. I consider this a stop hunt, especially when looking at price more recently. Zil really caught my eye over here, but it easily could have caught anyone's eye earlier on. So consider this a stop hunt. Just because, it's respected this level 1, there's, what about, I don't know, 4 times there that it's held on as support, and then once again here and here. So you can really tell that this here's the bottom of the chart, and top-wise, rejected at the top here once, rejected there twice, rejected here 3 times. So you have a pretty defined zone here. This is your top, this is your bottom. And as you guys know, we want to buy the bottom of these charts. Pretty straightforward stuff. And as we did, and as I called out in the group, I said to bid this low of 57/58 sats. It gives you a pretty tight invalidation, because if price does close below once again, then we're out, and that's only a 1%, 2% loss. So it's pretty good risk versus reward. If you're buying the bottom and your target is the top of the range, that's 53% gain versus a potential 2% loss, and that's a pretty good risk versus reward right there. What else can I say? Oh yeah, moving average wise, I'll zoom in a bit. Daily MAs are quite important. As you can see, when they're all spread out apart like this, especially when they're above price, that's a big no-no. So when you see it starting to go sideways for this accumulation period, it's quite a long accumulation, 276 days. But anyway, as you see price start this accumulation phase / just sideways movement, as you can see, the MAs get tighter and tighter, and they start to curl underneath the price. Because basically what moving averages are, if you guys aren't fully aware, it's basically just a lagging indicator of the previous, however, like the price average of the previous however many candles. So the 200 MA is the average price of the past 200 candles, and 50 MA is the same thing, 100 MA, whatever MA you use, it's just telling you the average price of however many past candle closes. So obviously if price is going sideways, the average is going to be lower, 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 because you're averaging out these higher up candles from the past. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But anyway, once you have your entry here at 57 sats, it really caught my eye, and I bought some more once these daily MAs conversed here and we flipped it in price. I wasn't going to let go of my bag if we lost these MAs. I had a clear-cut plan that I was going to enter here at 57 sats, exit on a close below, and my target was up here. I wasn't going to, start selling if it, went up a few sats. That's sometimes, like, it's okay to cut profit along the way, but keep majority of your bag for your target if it's a well laid out target. And as you guys saw, this actually did move extremely quickly. It didn't really, as you can see over here, it kind of slowly works its way up, but once it flipped these daily MAs here, and I'm not sure what else, helped trigger this and why the volume kicked in so hard, but once these MAs were flipped, bang, it went up 40% like it's nothing. And if you have, like, however much money invested, a quick 40% in a matter of 2 days is pretty ideal. But yeah, looking at this now, this sell-off is fairly intimidating. I'd want it to, let's zoom in a bit. So when the 4-hour comes in handy, you can see here the 4-hour MAs are just underneath us. So hopefully, as you guys know, this 200 EMA is really, really key in my personal analysis. So if I wanted to aggressively bid for a re-entry, I'd bid here at that 75 sat level. Not entirely sure if it's going to get filled, but I'd really hope that it can flip this 87 sat level sooner than later, because as you saw here, resistance, 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 couldn't hold it as support, but if we can reclaim that as support once again, it's basically game time. Just seeing that the gap between each support and resistance level is quite high. From here to here is not extreme, it's 18%, and here, basically I'm just marking points if you guys aren't really sure. I'm just marking points where price has stopped and bounced around, touched multiple times before making another move. So here it was touched twice, so I marked that level. Here it was marked twice, marked that level. The real show begins the show begins, once we flip this level, but it gets more and more exciting as we get higher up. So things like this are a little tricky. There's no right and wrong per se. It's basically just picking a point where price has touched the most. So realistically, you could put it here. You could put it here. Like, as long as it's within the general area, that's an area where price is likely going to stall or have some kind of resistance area or up and down movement before it continues on. So that's why we want to sell when we start to hit these resistance levels. But yeah, as you can see, guys, the gaps between each SR get pretty crazy as we move up. Like, that's a quick 67% move. So hope that's clear. That's the kind of the first coin that we're going over here. Pretty straightforward buy support, sell resistance play. I don't think it's done yet. I think that someone's been accumulating this coin for 276 days. It's like 2/3 of a year, 3/4 of a year. Yeah, 2/3 of a year or so. Someone's been filling their bags on each retest of this. And there's no way that they're gonna just start distributing their bags at a mere 66%. It's just not worth, big whales times. They could make more money elsewhere. I think the real expansion is yet to come, and I think we're gonna at least get up to these 200 level. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if we get up even to this level or this level in the 400s. So I think Zill's definitely one that is worth holding on to. Compounding on your bag. Yeah. So that's really about it. I don't know if you guys have any questions. If anyone wants me to kind of clarify on anything, I might think something is kind of straightforward or just a given or whatever it may be. I'm totally open to any questions you guys may have. So I think that covers the first coin. Let's move on a bit. I have a list of how many here? 7 coins. So, and I believe they're all quite different plays. Let's go look at DGB, a very recent one that has had a pretty drastic move, and hindsight, I'm sure that we could have caught this a bit earlier, but this kind of stuff happens. So let's use this replay tool again. Let's kind of just shove it here. See this thing getting absolutely destroyed. Well, what do you do now? Well, nothing. You don't want a knife catch. This thing looks like it's headed into oblivion. Could easily keep free falling, but yeah, right now this would have not caught my eye by any means. I would have just disregarded it and moved on to the next one. Just to elaborate on that, this is clearly free falling. Support from here was lost. Daily MAs are as resistance. There's nothing here telling me that we're going to go up because it's just downtrending, and anything that's just simply downtrending on the daily, I move on to the next one, seeing that there's hundreds of coins to pick from. This obviously isn't something that you want to buy into because it's not showing any signs of life. Yeah, so let's click the play button. Oh wow, that's fast. Hold on. So it's slow. Sorry guys, I'm new with this whole replay function thing. But anyway, as you can see, price is kind of going sideways. Doesn't really tell us a whole lot yet. Daily MAs are just now starting to get flipped. We're clearly not going down anymore. So you can consider this downtrend supposed to be over. Price isn't moving down anymore. We're getting back to this previous high level. We failed to hold it, which isn't great, so there's no reason to buy this yet. Still kind of going sideways, tangled in these daily moving averages. Massive volume for whatever reason here. So that, for one, you want to know what sparked this. But as you can see, there's big candles like that all the time. Could just be someone trying to get rid of their bag. No real rush to hop into it yet. So keep letting this play out. As you can see, there's a crap load of volume kicking in. These candles are closing at higher levels. As you can see previously, there's a massive wicks, but they don't close this high and they don't keep going. They just come back down and fall, come back down and fall, come back down and fall. And these wicks are disgusting. So at this point, this coin should at least get on your radar. We're reclaiming these previous lows, and we're holding price. The daily MAs, as you can see, have now flipped for the most part underneath us into support. That's also a good sign. So at this point, we've respected this level quite a few times now. Once as support, then as resistance, and then flipped into support once again. So let's continue this on. As you can see, this bastard is just flying. So let's keep playing out. You can see the daily MAs are kind of curling up now. It's fairly uncommon that you'll get. I don't think that will get down back to this SR level. Seeing that the daily MAs are now underneath us as support, if we lose the MAs, it's basically game over anyway. So at this point, you're going to want to be bidding at these MA levels. You don't want to get too aggressive. So let's just zoom into the 4-hour a bit. Gives us a little bit more clarity on price action and what's going on. I like to use it for a little more aggressive entries, and I only use these 2 time frames if you guys weren't really sure. Yeah, so zooming in on the 4-hour, get a more clear-cut idea of what's going on. Maybe it'll tell us where we can get an entry. Daily's a little more challenging. Daily, you want to mainly just use it as a tool to understand, the direction of price. But in regards to finding an entry and all these, big up and down candles, it's pretty challenging to really understand what price is doing and what its plan is. So pausing it here, as you can see, this is our new local high. So that, in a sense, is, well, it is significant. This level, we were failing to pass initially. That's why we had this retraced back down to the 4-hour MAs. And now we're taking a crack at it once again. So here alone, I would say to you guys, I'm not sure if this is where we initially got in. I saw that we were clearly starting an uptrend. This is nice and healthy. Seeing that this was our previous high, lower high compared to this high, but still our recent high, I'd say, okay guys, on a flip of this level, we would buy in. Not before then, because this right now is resistance, and if we get rejected again, once, twice, probably no bueno, we're probably going to go back down. So wait for it to flip, and we will get in. So yeah, you can see some pretty nasty candles here. Rejected, rejected, but now, even just right here, we've closed above. So our bids at this point would be filled. If you wanted a really aggressive sell target, just do it here at our recent local high. That's how much percent? That's pretty easy, 20%. Actually, I'm pretty sure that that's what I told you guys to do. So let this kind of play out. See if we hold the level. We're holding it so far, and boom, we already wicked right to that previous high exactly. So that would have been a very clean selling point for us. Beautiful. If you wanted to be aggressive to try and get back in, you just wait till we come back for a retest to this recent support level and go up again. You could once again sell here at our resistance level, or if price doesn't come back to this level, which I'm not sure if it did, to be honest, then you just wait for the flip of this level, because this, seeing its resistance once, and we've rejected twice now, if we can flip it, that should be a nice sturdy support for us and a good bid zone for continuation onwards. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we go down here and go back up, or if we just go to the moon. So oops. Yeah, so clear strength doesn't, well, yeah, oh Jesus, yeah, bit of fuckery in there, rejecting. So at this point, if you saw something like this, I definitely just keep my bid zone here. You wouldn't want to set your bids up here anyway, because it's not confirmed flipped yet. So kind of just wait here, maybe hope you get wicked into your bids, but no real other action required. So we'll see if it does wick or if it just straight up flips it. So yeah, look at that. So right when price closed right above this horizontal level, hopefully you guys can see this fine. Right when you flip this horizontal level or price closes above, that now means that this once resistance is now support, and likely quite sturdy, seeing that a level that you reject from that many times once it's flipped into support, it's usually much stronger than a level that, let's say you just went through on the first try. This should be quite sturdy theoretically. So at this point, you could set your bids here at the horizontal level. Yeah, you guys know I don't usually recommend to just buy in once we've broken out, because now our invalidation level is now closed below this horizontal, because seeing that it's our support, we don't want price to close below it. So if you get an entry here at support level, it's pretty tight until it closes below, right? It's only like, a few sats depending on how aggressively you want to play. Noting again, our 4-hour MAs are still underneath us as support. Looks extremely healthy. But anyway, invalidation would be, almost 10%. So I usually don't recommend you just FOMO in once it breaks out, because you could easily potentially lose, something like that 10% until you hit that invalidation level. So, yeah, look at this bastard. Yeah, no, it's gonna fly without us though. Wow, what a shame. So, we got cooked on that one, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's where price is currently right now. So, if you really, yeah, that's a difficult one. I still stand by my word. I don't like to buy candles that are up so much. You can zoom in. Sorry, guys. To explain a little more, I'm kind of zooming just in on the 1 hour. 1 hour can even help you, with more specific entry points. 1 hour MAs were much tighter and closer to current price. I don't usually use the 1 hour much, only for finding specific entries. So even this pullback here, if you bid this purple MA or whatever MAs you have, bid, I don't know how to explain this. You just bid on the top of the cluster or within the cluster. Yeah, I really wish it had gone down here, which it did not. But regardless, that was another clean 37% since then, and that was only yesterday. So that's pretty extreme. So at this point, if I could predict what price would do next, kind of looks similar to this here, doesn't it? Like, shoots up and massive up and down candles, no real sign of direction. And after a big up move, it did this. And I would not be surprised if we come back for a pullback. At this point, I'm not bidding anything. There's, the MAs here do look nice. I'd love to get a wick down here at the horizontal level, because that's, our only real support. You could, if you wanted to, bid this level that it seems to keep holding. That's, yeah, that's if you want to be aggressive. We'll see what happens. I'm not really sure what sparked this move in the first place, other than it just looking like a good chart. Would you be exiting? Oh shit. Hold on, sorry guys. I'm just reading Discord. Tommy asked, would I be exiting at 87? And I'm assuming he was talking about Zill. Yes, he was asking about Zill. Sorry about going back and forth here. Yeah, so yeah, 100%. That's where I had my profit level. I'll even pull it up in Discord right now, see if I can find it. But that's exactly where I recommended that you guys put your sell levels at, just because with it being resistant so many times previously, there's a lot of discussion about Zill. Jesus, there you are. Yeah, so if you look here, this was the chart I saw initially. Hopefully you guys can, I'll open it a little bigger actually. So this is what I had. I cleaned it up a bit in the more recent charts, but as you can see, it was holding the support level we talked about. Great buy opportunity, amazing buy opportunity, and that's that 87 level is exactly where I set to sell, because it's almost not guaranteed, but very, very likely to hit that price again. So what did I say? Yeah, targeting range high to begin with at 87 sats, and hopefully a breakout. And I still am hoping for that breakout, as I mentioned previously. So close that down. I think I covered basically everything for DGB. Hopefully that was clear to you guys. Once again, you just want to look at both the daily and the 4-hour time frame just to sum it up. It was downtrending for the longest time. Would typically ignore it, but once price stopped going down and we'd reclaim the highs, like down, we've now reclaimed against this high, so that in a sense is a trigger that the downtrend has been completed. If you bid at the 200-day EMA, which you guys know I'm in love with, that would have been the perfect entry to get in on, because since that retest, it's gone up almost 300% just from buying that retest. So it's a pretty easy ride. It moved up quite quickly. Obviously some intimidating candles, but if you stuck to your plan, set some levels, and compounded on the way up, pretty easy to make at least some money on that. Maybe not the full 300%, but it'd be pretty simple to catch some of these big moves. Okay, so that covers DGB. Are you setting sells there or doing manually? I'd set sells there for sure. If we're talking about ZIL still, that's where I had my sells set and they triggered. I also had an alert on TradingView for when this level gets hit, so it brought my eyes to it right away, so I could see what price action was forming. I'm not sure if you guys use alerts often, but they're absolutely fantastic. Can be extremely helpful, and then you don't have to set bids on all these different coins if they're kind of far from the level, but you want to make sure you get filled if it wicks, like stuff like that. If you just set a simple TradingView alert, goes to your phone, goes to your email, it pops up in your browser or whatever. It'll you can open it right away on your app, right, and then set your bids, or even market buy if it's at the exact level that you were waiting for. So yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward stuff. I need a sip of beer. I've been talking for ages. Hopefully this is informative for you guys. Yeah, and I'll try and go over some other tactics. I don't know if you guys have heard of this Gainsey diag. It's just like a trend line indicator. I found it pretty useful because even alone, this one trend line catches my eye. I'll just draw it out. There's actually two that catch my eye. This one right here, you can see it's respecting this trend line, respecting it, and right when it broke out of this trend, you could have just bought this retest. It's a bit of an ugly candle here, but once it reclaimed this trend line, you could have bid here. You can see the daily MAs are underneath us. We've clearly reclaimed that trend line, and up we go. Likely, I'm surprised it went that quickly, like I mentioned before, but with MAs like this, it's not surprising that we started to move upwards, just because they're flip support and they're nice and tight below us, which is always the ideal scenario. Okay, so ZIL's done, DGB's done. Well, DGB's done for the most part. I guess I haven't really gone over to you guys how to exactly set your sells on these. What I like to do, and what I had on my chart before I deleted it all, whenever you open a chart, the easiest / best thing you can do is open your daily chart, go to your horizontal raise, and just start charting some areas where price has respected multiple times, because that gives you a clear idea of the different support and resistance levels, and the percent gaps between each level. Like right here, price is going here a lot. Well, and it's, oh, look at that. And it worked to it perfectly, and that's not exactly by chance. So so set your horizontal levels, and the easiest thing actually before you set any horizontal levels to save you from going through like 500 different coins, confirm that it's in an uptrend. Of this thing, let's go to some Hyobi shitcoin real quick. There's a bunch of shit on here that I'm like, there's no real point. Like this thing, shit. I would not right now anyway. This thing is just downtrending. Down, 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 down. It's not reclaiming any highs and holding them. It's, yeah, the daily MAs are all above us, pointing us down. Looks like shit. Kind of, it seems to be struggling to hold this level. It's definitely not on the radar yet. If it can go sideways for a little while, like this, let the MAs kind of go underneath us as support, and just confirm that we're not going down anymore. Maybe reclaim some, some of these highs. If we can start moving up here, oh, this is great. That just shows that we're starting to move up. This downward mess and blood is over with. But for now, it's too soon to tell. So, yeah, you can just move on to the next one. Do that process over and over. This looks like shit. That's falling to its death. Sorry, I have drawings on quite a few of these, but Acro sitting at its previous low. I'm gonna just ignore this because Acro's, a bit of an asshole coin. Daily MAs are resistance. Still downtrending, holding onto this level for now. Maybe if it goes sideways, but honestly, I won't even be shocked if it just starts, keep on going down. So, yeah, but same thing with a lot of these Hyobi coins. Fuck off. If they're just kind of going down and daily MAs are resistance, just move on. I can guarantee you there's at least a handful of coins which are typically on my shitcoin list or my short list that, look, they look good. There's reasoning behind it, and that's because they're uptrending. MAs look good. Yeah, and that's a good starting point. Sorry if I'm rambling, guys. You guys know I'm new to I'm new to this, so at least I hope I'm teaching you guys something. So CKB, bit of a piss off, but at least it was a good play at least once. I'll just delete everything, kind of go over what I saw. MA wise, off the bat, not great. As you can see, whenever they're above us, they're gonna push us down. That's shit. And that, they never help anyone that way, obviously, right? But hold on, let's use this replay again. So it was at this point here when Ricky brought it up in conversation. Typically, I would just ignore this coin because the MAs look shitty and we're at new lows. This was the previous low and we lost it. Not great, but that level's marked to begin with. Ricky brought it up in conversation. Set some horizontal levels that we've respected a handful of times. You can see resistance, 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 flip support, failed, resistance. So it's just a level that we've seen price touch a few times. Kind of just same here. There's no real right or wrong, like I said, guys, as long as you're within the vicinity. So I like to put my horizontals at the candle close price. Some people do the wick price, but yeah, I stick with the candle close. So let me just do something quick. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, so at this point, this is when Ricky brought up in conversation. I wanted it to at least reclaim the previous low, which we marked here. So I'd want it to at least get above here before I got in. Completely reasonable. There's no way I'd buy it now because it could just keep dying. So as we wait, doesn't fall anymore. You can see it's kind of trying to reclaim, and boom. Right when it closed price up here, reclaim that low, boom, indicator right away. Like I said, the MAs look kind of shit, but with Ricky's knowledge, I gave it a shot. So with this being our bid zone at the previous low. Shit. Okay, let's zoom in a bit. So reclaim the low. You can just bid at the previous low and then exit on a close below. So once again, tighten validation. So if price closes below, you're out. That's only 2%. Perfect, great, that's what we want. Really tighten validation so we don't give our money away, obviously. And target-wise, pretty straightforward. You literally just set them at the horizontal levels that we've touched many times. Boom, 14% gap till that SR. There's not a lot in our way, as you guys can see, as resistance up until that point, because price just fell here. Didn't put up a fight. There's not a bunch of candle-y mess here. So that's our first target. And this is our second target. Pretty straightforward, I think. So let's zoom into the 4 hour a little bit, just see what's going on here. 4 hour moving average wise, you can see it's starting to curl underneath us. Perfect, beautiful. That's exactly what we want. We want it to curl underneath and start curling up. You can see them turning in a sense, to help shove us up into the air. So all I have to do now is just wait, seeing that we're filled at our bid zone. Sorry, I was reading Discord. Yeah, boom. So completely smashed through that target. Awesome, great. If you set your sells there at resistance, perfect. But you know, if you're wanting to be aggressive and keep riding the wave, well, hey, let's set our bid zone at that once resistance. Once resistance level, now support. Set our bids there, and we do not want to close below on the higher time frame. So now that's done. Oh look, boom, boom, boom. Just, oh, that's kind of ugly. Well, and that's how you invalidate yourself. So I actually don't know what happens after this. So riding the 200 MA on the 4 hour. Yep, now failed against this resistance. I actually don't know if we go that high, so hold on. Yeah, resistance, so we're completely invalidated. Well, shit. Let's see if we can reclaim this. If not, we don't really want to get back in. So we have these two zones could bid here. Oh look, we reclaimed it. I kind of figured we did at some point. So anyway, once we reclaim once again, we would have gotten validated once. You know, we sit out. You could bid this 200 EMA on the 4 hour, or wait till we reclaim this level once again. Up to you guys. Obviously just two different types of plays. So once we reclaim this level again, perfect, get in, 66, 67 sats. Let it play out. Hopefully it hits that next target. Oh my god. Well, yeah, I really actually can't remember if it hit that target or not, but hey, just chip chop. Kind of looks to be forming a wedge here. Oh, look, perfect. Okay, phew! Well, that went as planned, so that's good. So formed a bit of a wedge here. I'll zoom in actually a little bit, even more. Zoom in on the 1 hour. See this little like wedge is forming. You kind of get an eye for them after a while. It's just, you know, you have the big ramp up and then price coils up, and when it does that, you know, you just have to draw two trend lines, bing bang boom. You got yourself a wedge. Looks a little ugly, but hey, broke out of the wedge and then smashed through, flip that 81 set, take profit 2 into support. So at this point, disregarding that invalidation we had, if we got back in, once we reclaimed, that's, you know, 40% move. So once again, hold on. So if you wanted to be extremely aggressive, you could bid this horizontal level now. That's flipped into support, kind of like we did down here. From this point, I don't think CKB did very well. So you likely would have got stopped out, but let's just see what happens. So if you sorry, so if you bid that level again, let's see what happens. Pretty sure this is just when things started going downhill. So yeah, invalidated. This massive wick was almost guaranteed. People stops. And then yeah, I'm pretty sure volume just diminished. It's holding this 4-hour 200 EMA for now. I think it's kind of trying to go for the reclaim, but we just can't get back to these highs for now. Honestly, I'm not sure if we keep going up, but yeah, now we're starting to lose the 4-hour 200 EMA. EMAs are turning down as resistance. Once support, now resistance, so it's just shoving us down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just keeps getting ugly from there. So that would have been this alone, losing that horizontal level and then losing the EMAs / MAs is like no bueno. Leave it alone, don't touch it, move on to the next one. I'm pretty sure just let's move it up a bit. Yeah, see, once these MAs are flipped into resistance, absolutely whomped. So, rip CKB. Alright, so hopefully that was clear to you guys. Quick recap, daily MAs look like shit. It was basically a reclaim play where we reclaim this low, and then just rode the wave up to the 2 SR levels, boom boom, and then exit on the loss of the 4-hour MAs. So, boom, dead. So let's move on to the next one. If anyone has any questions or wants me to like clarify on anything, 100% can. But if not, yeah, 4 more pairs to go through. Damn, I'm going pretty damn slow. Sorry guys, it's been almost an hour and I've gone through like 3 pairs, not including Bitcoin. Alright, well I'll try to, I don't want to rush though either, so hopefully I'm not just talking to myself, but I want to take a look at RSR. Yeah, I'll delete everything, it's not really a big deal. As you guys know, we rode RSR together for almost this entire move up, which was absolutely phenomenal. Excuse me, these are the plays that are honestly so damn easy. So, let me have some beer, hold on. Right, perfect. So, usual scenario here guys, let's use our good old replay tool again. Let's zoom it out to here. Not really much going on, as you guys can see. Basically just like downtrending. Oops. How do I? Sorry guys. Just bring it up to here. So RSR has been on my radar for a really long time. I've been playing this one previously, but now that it's on Hyobi, you know, it's worth playing for sure. So, oh shit, that's fast. Okay, so anyway, opening this on the daily chart, you know, back in November, not really doing a whole lot, basically going sideways. Let's mark some levels real quick. So we have this basically listing price, and this the top of that candle as well. Pretty crazy price movement on listing day. Obviously shot up, closed, and then got absolutely whopped. So GG to anyone who bought up here. Not really the smartest thing anyone can do, but anyway, they probably lost a lot of money. So anyway, so let's mark levels. Basically right here is basically a double bottom low, I suppose. Price was hit a support here, goes back up, just kind of goes sideways, and then bounces again, but doesn't close below, so it's an equal low. MA wise, they're only just starting to form because new listings, you obviously don't have, you know, however much, like you don't have a price average for that many days previously, right? So Anyway, this is the equal low. We kind of bounce again. Maybe some people want to play really aggressively and bid this level, but regardless, this is a significant level. Let's keep it marked. But once we lost it here, daily MAs as resistance, womp down, crap. You know, that's never good. Because at this point it could keep going lower. It might go to this listing price, or it might just keep going into the ground. But once it really should have caught your eye is once it reclaimed this previous double bottom low area. So let's let it play out a bit. MA still don't look great. Come on, hurry up. Okay, I think I broke it. Okay, fuck it, I'll do it manually. So, as you can see, it seems to struggle to hold this horizontal low, but still, it's a key level. You know, I'd be looking at these MAs, still getting womped down. Still wouldn't have a position. Would be waiting for the reclaim at some point of this level, but for now, MAs is resistance. Can you hurry the fuck up? Yeah, see, still just not doing a lot. You could also mark this level because it seems to like to hold this level too, but for now, still no position. Kind of just accumulating and going sideways. We're not reaching to new lows yet, but here's when it gets kind of interesting. You can see the moving averages. I don't know how many times I'm going to say moving averages today, but moving averages are now, well, they were / will be getting flipped into support, and when they do, that's a really good trigger. This seriously needs to go quicker. Okay, boom, right here. This is beautiful. As you can see, you're kind of tangled in these MAs, tangled. But right when we flip this 200-day EMA into support on the daily, that is awesome. But we still haven't reclaimed this low. But that's why this level is so significant. Once we reclaim that low, you definitely want to get your eyes on it to buy some. So let's let it play out for a bit. Wow, look at this. Pretty nasty price action, but at least the MAs are converging and getting closer. So here is when you'll be like, holy shit. We've reclaimed the low, we've held it. Yeah, price looks quite strong. And you definitely want to consider getting a position. So let's let this play out. So bids are here at this horizontal level. Daily MAs as support. Bid should be filled. Yeah, it was pretty funky price action, but yeah, wow, that's pretty shit price action. Oh wow. Anyway, reclaim the low. Jesus, yeah, once we hold this level anyway, the whole point of it is that once you can reclaim the strong support with MAs underneath it, it's a buy. So, price suddenly shot up, and honestly, it was just kind of game over after that. Yeah, see this, I'm just trying to get a better read on these. Yeah, price action is pretty shit. Honestly, you could have even bid this low here, been aggressive. I guess it's more passive, but yeah, bid this low here, and then further fill your bids on a reclaim of here. But seeing that moving averages are my thing, I waited until they were flipped into support, and we reclaimed this level. And yeah, honestly, it was just kind of history after that. We moved 176% just on that time frame alone. Sorry, I'm just looking at the 4-hour MAs as well. Yeah, pretty shit up and down price action, but eventually shot up. I actually don't remember how high it went. Let's see how high it went. Oh, yeah, that was as high. Oh, so I really don't remember how this one played out, but in regards to lower time frame price action, yeah, this is what I would have got invalidated on the loss of these MAs. Could have bid on this reclaim here. Let's see what happens. Because I actually don't have a clue. Yeah, I might just die. Yeah, no, instantly. That's yeah, not great. Yeah, flipped it to resistance. Once these things curl against you, you're in a bit of trouble. So I'm pretty sure it just keeps womping down to where we are now. Yeah, exactly. So as you guys saw in the Discord, this was our zone number 3. Let's clear this up a bit. Sorry, guys. I didn't even listen to my. Well, I guess I did. So, regardless, looking at this now, let's set some horizontal levels for maybe a potential future play. As we saw, price was here and held it quite strong multiple times. This is our bottom bid zone on the 200 MA. I also had a bid zone up here, but at this point it's now like a take profit level. And here's another point that we've touched many times, and here's another point that we've touched many times. So yeah, I really don't like these MAs. I'm kind of just hoping that price can go sideways here for a bit, let these MAs reset, because right now diving into them, it's going to be quite difficult to surpass them and flip this level. So we'll see how our RSR plays out at this point, but I swear I had some interesting trend lines here too that came into play. I probably should have played around a little more just to remember what it was I exactly saw. Oh shit. Oh well. Anyway. Moving average. Yeah, it's like I saw the moving averages. I don't actually know what you're asking. There's a lot of moving averages here, and when. Oh well. So that's RSR. Pretty shitty to find an entry here, to be very honest with you. Yeah, the 200 MA, yeah. Yeah, that's the 200 MA, and that's where I advise you guys to bid a little, because it basically, you can see here, it wicked here once, so you can tell that it respects the 200 MA, or it has previously anyway. So I was banking on it respecting it again, especially here when it respected it and had such a massive up move. Basically ignoring all these MAs, it just seems like a logical, ideal entry point. For all I know, though, we'll have some shitty luck. It'll come all the way back down here to this shitty area it's bounced on multiple times, and will be invalidated on a close below that MA, because that's 33% drop. Not really worth it. How do I get the raccoon out of my attic? I don't know, just give it a trail of like snacks or something, and like just bring the trail, through your house and to the outside. Or just like, I don't know, ask him to move out. He's at that age where he should be moving on in his life. So anyway, so that covers RSR. Yeah, I wish it was a little more clear, but in this trend line I drew, you could have kind of played with this a bit. As you saw, prices coiling up, but not much of an exciting breakout. You could have bid on the breakout here and just let it ride, because we didn't even lose that level again. Hopefully that's another clear way to play it, but it's a pretty big move. Those are obviously the ones that we want to we want to be playing. So let's move on to BitDag. I don't remember why I have that there, but anyway, I'll leave these trend lines here. I just drew them back on today just to give me a little reminder of what I saw. So back here, let's kind of cut off. Let's cut off that price. Nice and zoomed out as we like. Let's set some key levels real quick. Let's put one here. So I'll try and give you guys brief reasoning. I don't want to, take ages, explaining the same thing over and over. But, we saw price bounce here, failed, and then rejected off of it. So we can tell right away this is a important area, or an area that's been respected previously. Where else? Around right. I'd say right here. Yeah, this is a good spot as well. Move this over a bit actually. So you can just see prices acted on this spot a lot. It's, come here, bounced, failed, and now it's resistance. Flipped it. Yeah, bounced there, failed, resistance. You can just see price plays at this level quite often. Over here, and over here, and over here. Anyway, so let's just mark that with our good old green zone. So what really started to catch my eye when I opened the DAG chart was, as usual, we've been downtrending like almost all altcoins for, the past few years, which is obviously kind of shitty, but it's a good opportunity for us because we can buy them at these low levels. So yeah, keep going down. At this point, I wish I saw DAG. Obviously, it's hard to, catch coins before they reclaim the lows, but so this was a lower low compared to this low. This low is a lower low compared to this low. But then we shoot up, and this high is higher than this high. So right away, that's a trigger. Okay, well, we're not downtrending anymore. That's perfect. Move over a bit more. Now we get to this low. Well, this low is higher than this low. Again, another trigger. So that's awesome. Beautiful. Perfect. So we can even draw a little trend line here. Why not? And draw a little trend line between those two. Why not? So clearly, this one's higher than this one. This one's higher than this one. So that's actually kind of ugly, but anyway, sorry guys. That's basically an initial sign that price is not going down anymore. But we still could go sideways for a period of time. But what really caught my eye, and damn would have been an amazing entry to go heavy on, was this wedge that it was forming. As you could see, price shot up and starts coiling up. Has this little fake out to screw some people over. Reclaimed it. Perfect sign. Oops. Zoom in a bit. Broke out, retest. You guys have seen a million of these plays. Draw some triangles, break out of them, retest, boom, entry. You're in. Once you're in, you just exit when price closes back inside. Super tight invalidation, and you can target this horizontal level that we made. You could do this horizontal level. Could do this horizontal level. It's really up to you guys which areas you pick, but I just picked the points that price has gone to many times, so sure, that's fine. So entry with a tight invalidation like that to be potentially targeting, so if you get in here at the breakout, that's potential 600% for a, let's say, we could even have a fairly wide stop loss. I don't know. Let's draw this a little better. Yeah, I don't know. 6% stop loss below the daily MAs and a close back inside the wedge. Sure, that's perfect. 6% versus 600%. That risk versus reward is pretty ideal. So now that we have our positions, our horizontals marked, we have our bid zone, we have our profit levels, we have our stop loss. You know, we can just ride it out. Oh shit! Look at it go! Boom! And all you have to do is just sell the moves up. You know, you could sell resistance, right? You could sell resistance right here if you wanted to. Wait for the confirmed flip. Oh shit, didn't hold. Reclaim. Once it's confirmed bounce and flip, okay, let's buy some more. Boom. Boom. Another massive 100% up move. Just keep buying support. Sell resistance, wait for the flip. Buy some more. Sell resistance. Wait for the flip. Just do that over and over again. And then once these MAs are lost or we fail to hold the horizontal, I probably would have bid here, to be perfectly honest. We would have gone up, but then once we start to fail, once we get back down to our entry, ooh, that's a sign. Okay, looking toppy. Kind of printed a head and shoulders here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, scary, bad. We've gone up 600%. Well, let's take some profits and move on. And I believe that was a really good idea because we then bled all the way back down to here and would have resulted in a 68% loss if you held on. That's why holding on to altcoins is never a good idea. Yeah, so actually I just drew this trend line today. I didn't notice it till today. So let's just open Discord, see if anyone's chatting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I drew this trend line today. Just saw that this is where the outer pricing was like touching and there was a valid trend line here. So resistance, kind of a fail here. I wouldn't have got in at any of these points, but once we've broken out of this trend line, it's like, oh, well, that downward move is kind of, that downward move's over with, at least temporarily. So that gives us a good buy opportunity. And the good thing about marking these horizontal levels previously is, hey, we have a horizontal level we've respected before. So even another bid zone, even this entire cluster realistically looks good for an entry, in my opinion. So bid zone there, bid zone at the retest. Actually looks pretty good for continuation, if I'm going to be honest with you. So yeah, I might actually have to post this one. It's as simple as that, guys. Like, we have a nice 57% gap up until the next horizontal level that we drew, and yeah, easy as that. Might actually go for it. You can see here though, if you want to mark out a more local resistance point, you can see here it was resistance twice, so there's a good chance that we're going to kind of stall out here. So the gap to that is not that high, 12%, but the daily MAs are flipped underneath us. So honestly, I think it's a pretty good entry to scale in, you know, within these zones and target this horizontal, boom, boom, straightforward, easy. Yeah, that's really about it. So that's DAG. DAG was an easy, pretty simple play, to be honest with you. Wedge breakout, and it just went for it. Easy as that. I think I'm losing my voice actually from talking so goddamn much. So, hopefully that's clear. I think I was only really on the daily time frame when going through that with you guys, and that can be fine. You don't need to zoom in. You don't need to use the 10-minute chart. Look at this. Look at this illegible shit. You can't even read this. This looks like Braille or some shit. Waste of time. Focus on the higher time frame. Higher time frame direction is the most important by far, 100%. And I, as you guys know, only stick with the daily and 4 hour when it comes to altcoins, because that's all you need, and it works the best, like straight up. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I'm taking up a lot of your guys' time, but hopefully you guys are getting something out of this. And this is just practice for me to, I'll just get better and better over time, I'm sure, in regards to, explaining the breakdown for you guys, and hopefully provide some like clarification on some stuff. But so that's RSR. So we've done ZIL, DGB, CKB, RSR, DAG. Let's do ERD just because it was super straightforward. Yeah, let's see if this actually picks it up. No, it doesn't pick it up. So I was just clicking on the diagonal tool. I was hoping that it would pick up that wedge that we drew, but I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but I have a drawing on like at least almost every Binance coin. I have drawings done up, and it's the same process every single time when I do it. Once again, open our daily chart, set some levels. This is the previous low on a closing basis. It did wick down there, but I don't count the wicks usually. I just think they're scams, to be honest. Here, let's mark. See, guys, I like to mark where prices go on many times on a closing basis. So here would be another significant one. As you can see here, there's a lot of wicks, little bit of closing price action, but as you can see, there's firm closing prices on this level. Let's see what else we got. What about here? Oh, perfect. Boom. It was rejected here and rejected here. Boom. That's easy horizontal level. And let's go a little bit higher. Let's go up to here. You can see on a closing basis, it hit there a few times. So that's easy enough. Those are our horizontal levels. Pretty straightforward, I think. But as you guys saw in my setup chart, sometimes I don't catch them. Obviously, it's hard to catch them all. But just throwing some trend lines. If you see price kind of converging, honestly, a lot of the time there's just a wedge being built up. And you get an eye for it eventually. And honestly, this might not be perfect on my first go. You can even connect it there and see if there's anything. Fuck, how did I actually do this last time? Oh, that looks pretty good actually. Because you can see price hits here, and we have a wick over here. General rule of thumb, by the way, trend lines, they're only really valid, in my opinion, if there's, 3 clean touches. Because realistically, there's only 2 touches, you can draw a frickin' trend line no matter frickin' way you want. But for it to be valid, I at least try to make it 3 touches. So this was honestly a super easy play. Yeah, a little disappointed that I didn't get us to buy it earlier, because with falling wedges like this, you see it build up, you see it respect it, and right when it breaks out like that, that's an easy in. Breakout, retest, boom, you're in. And then you just ride it out. If it closes back inside here, okay, you're out. Tighten validation. Well, you wouldn't do the 11%. Like a few percent, just for you could do it. You could exit on a close back below 12 sats, because I think that's a great stop loss, manual stop loss. Because price has never closed below. It's wicked below, but not closed. So a stop loss when it closed below 12, and if you get an entry at 13, oof, you're laughing. So anyway, let's just mark our entry point. I like to mark our entry points with horizontals. It helps kind of just show the price on this sidebar here. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that. So anyway, breakout, retest, look at that. Even retested perfectly. You guys probably can't see that. Retested perfectly on 13 sats. The downfall with low sats is that you don't always get filled because usually there's a lot of liquidity on each sat. That's when it's a good idea to move over to the US dollar pair, chart it up and try to get the equivalent of that level, or the ETH pair. Either's fine if they have those pairs. If not, honestly, I usually bid both at that level and one sat up. So I would bid 13 and 14, just because it would help me ensure that I get filled and it's still a fairly tight invalidation. So yeah, perfect. So if we got in at 12, honestly at this point, you know, there's not really much you have to do. I think it still looks phenomenal. Daily MAs are flipped into support, which, as you guys know, is all I've basically talked about today. Same with the 4-hour MAs. Look at that. Both daily and 4-hour have price on top of it. Price hasn't even closed below them. Like, I wouldn't consider this a close below, so it's just been riding it on the way up. So honestly, as long as the MAs on both the 4-hour and daily are underneath it, you're laughing. And they're both curling up, MA wise, and the next gap up is 100%. That's pretty awesome. And as you guys know, if you want to be aggressive, and I might actually post this in group, we can bid this 17 sat area because it's the horizontal level we drew before and it was support before. You know, you might as well bid at that level if price likes to go there and price likes to hold there, and the MAs are right there as well. You know, that's good enough confluence to, you know, put some bids there, and then obviously exit on, you know, maybe a close below that MA cluster we have right here. Yeah, so that's a super easy one. Yeah, if it flips this level, well, then we have another 66% gap up to the next resistance. So this is mega clean. This is awesome. Yeah, I think that covers it. That's the gist of the play. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, I'll go over Noya. I posted it in group, but honestly didn't even give us the opportunity to play it, which is a bit of a piss off because it just moved so quickly. But it was the same thing as ERD, really. Just gotta remember how I had it drawn. There's a nice, yeah, something along the lines of that. Let's see what I can do here. Because I know the reason I noticed this was that it was forming this wedge here. You can see massive move, price is tightening up, and then it's got really tight in here, and that's when you know something's happening, and price needs to either burst up or burst down. That's why it's good to wait for the actual breakout and retest, because if it bursts that way, then you're like, oh fuck, and then you're, you know, you're out of money, you lose money, which is pretty unnecessary. So, yeah, let's stick with our standard rule, set our horizontals, boom, quick, obvious horizontal there. It held here for such a long period of time. Didn't have much of an effect here. It seems to kind of just have ignored it, but it wicked down, wicked down, wicked down as resistance. Same here, wicked down, wicked down. Now we're flipping into support. Ooh, that's that on its own is a bid zone. I typically wait for this candle to close though, this daily candle. This isn't confirmed support yet. If price hasn't closed above, it's still actually resistance. So, because it could easily just get shoved right back down below, and you'd be sitting with a bag, and this would still be resistance, and it would potentially just, you know, keep going down. Might go down to this MA cluster, which is what I was hoping for. Yeah, and that's pretty hefty. So I wouldn't get in here. I wouldn't buy the horizontal yet. I'd wait till that candle close. Yeah, that'd be a quick 40% loss if you bought it too early and it just got shoved back down. So, alright, let's mark the rest of our horizontals real quick. Boom. Yeah, and then there's a lot of ugly price action. The more chop there is, the worse it is. If there's a lot of this up and down, up and down, up and down, all in the same area, there's going to be resistance there. What we want are these nice gaps. This is beautiful. It was the same on Zill. Really nice big gap. Not much in the way of stopping us from getting from one point to the other. That's a 100% move. So once this closes, KuCoin closes at 8 p.m. So once yeah, once that price closes, I'll probably post in group saying, hey, buy this retest. Or at least bid that retest and then see how price works out. Like I said, I'd love for it to go back down here. You can see these MAs are really tightening up underneath us as support. The tighter the better in multiple ways of life. I really lost track talking about tight shit. So anyway, yeah, no, that's honestly really about it. We'll bid these two zones. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. Massive gap up. That'll be our main target, because once we get into here, it's going to get pretty sloppy. And I don't really like to play around with coins that have all this chip chop up and down bullshit. I like the nice gaps. So yeah, that's really about it. Yeah, I don't know what other if you want me to go over my indicators at all. MA Krill is just all the different MAs that you see here. Other than the EMA 200, it just wasn't in MA Krill, or else I would just use that one. A handful of you guys have asked me what MAs do I use. Honestly, I think it's mainly preference. I've said to a few people that I think, other than the EMA 200, which I think is extremely helpful, if you guys don't have it already, you should, and make it thick. It just, I don't know, just helps it stand out, right, compared to all these other ones. And then I recommend the 50, the 100, and the 200. It just gives you a nice variance between lower average, mid-average, and a higher average. I've seen people use all sorts of ones. I do like the MA20 as well, but the more MAs you have, the more, like, I don't know, of a distraction it is, and I don't know, the less helpful I think they are if you just have, like, if you have 10 MAs. I think it's going to do you more harm than good. You just want to stick to a few that you like and you see price, agree with or work with, I guess you could say. So yeah, but yeah, these MAs look nice. Zooming in, 4 MAs looks nice. Your guys will look like that too, even if you have different MAs. It'll all look pretty similar. They'll still be underneath your support, unless you're using like the 300-day moving average or some like really high one. But if you're using that range, they're still all going to be underneath you. For this case. That's really about it. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. I don't even know if anyone's watching anymore, to be perfectly honest. I just might be talking to myself. Yeah, but I think that goes over the big movers. I think we've covered what I usually do when we chart. What else? I actually wrote a couple notes, but I'm pretty sure I covered every single thing. Yeah, I did. Yeah, someone asked me, I don't know if they're going to watch this far into the stream, someone asked me the differences between Huobi and Binance setups and in regards to how MAs work. But honestly, I use the same ones for each exchange. Like I don't toggle some on, toggle some off for different exchanges. Honestly, I just think they work in a sense more effectively on Huobi, or at least so it seems, is because it's just where the volatility is lately, and that's where all the big alt moves are. They do work perfectly well on Binance. It's just Binance, their coins haven't been doing as much, in regards to the big moves. So, yeah, there's no difference between my setup between exchanges. I literally just, go back and forth. This list of all my coins includes both exchanges, and I look at the same thing every time. So, yeah, I'm out of breath. So, hopefully that was clear for you guys. Someone asked about seller, so I'll look at that quickly. Yeah, this is, I'll clear this off for you guys. Looks pretty similar to ERD. If I do say so myself, it's, you can tell that price, there's the fairly big move, and price is, coiling up in a sense. It's not like, from a naked perspective, doesn't look amazing, but once you draw this one trend line, literally just one trend line, it's like, wow, because it touched here, 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 and here. That alone, you're like, wait, anytime we have a trend line like this, it's because you're watching a trend. Trend lines are for trends, if that was not extremely obvious. And a break out of this is a break of the trend, so this downtrend would be over. And with, fuck, where did I draw this? Here? Yeah. So a break, this doesn't have to be perfect. So in a sense, you guys always have to keep in mind, price could keep going deeper into this wedge. There's nothing like, it has the right to do so. It's still within the wedge. But as you can see, just by marking that horizontal level, it's also the weekly open, which is interesting. We've not closed below that once. Not once. So, and we're running out of room. Banging against this wall. Banging against this wall. It's a massive falling wedge that was painted. Like, this is not done like this by accident. People don't just like spend, how many days was this fucking built for? Boom, boom. 193 days it took to make this, and this was not done by accident. I can tell you that now. If this comes back to screw me, well, you can hold it against me, but I don't know. I'm expecting a breakout in the next few days. I have been aggressive on this one with you guys. I've said bid this bottom area. I think that's perfectly healthy and safe. MAs could be better, but honestly, fuck it. They're, I don't think they're gonna be what stops us. When there's a massive falling wedge like this, I don't know, I don't want to let MAs just stop me from entering. So, expect a breakout within, I don't know, the next few days max. My bags are packed. I have a big bag. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but, oh yeah, some horizontal levels. Easy, boom. Yeah, there's no real right and wrong, guys. Boom. Yeah, not massive gaps between that. Boom, boom, boom. Because what I'm looking for now is just, as I've explained, just points where price is touched a lot and typically bounced off of, but seems pretty chip choppy. Yeah, I'll put one up here. Why not? Fuck it. And then yeah, we'll put one up there. So just some simple targets. No real right and wrong. These are fairly aggressive. 35, 42, 57, 65. The setup I posted might be a bit different just because there's no clear, like these levels are all different. There's no real area where, well, yeah, maybe here actually. So, because it's hit here, and I don't know, a lot of messing around in there. So anyway, yeah, pretty tight in validation. Get in on the breakout, or get in now at 22, close, if it closes below 21, a few percent for, well, fuck it, let's see how big this goes. 200% move, so we'll see what happens. Anything you are eyeing to enter today? Buy some seller, bro. That's the big one. I'll scan through my list real quick, actually. Like I said, Noia looks pretty good. Verge caught my eye earlier today. Also printing a wedge, but I'm waiting for price to close back up here and then see how it reacts within here. If it can hold here, maybe we'll buy the breakout and retest, because there's some very clean levels here that I'm assuming will be tested in the fairly near future as long as we can break out. So that's a nice 50% move right there. So that's on my list. D-Rep, I've talked about with you guys. I don't know, it's literally just going sideways. MAs are its resistance. Probably going to go sideways for a little while, but you can, nothing to stop you from buying 16, selling 18, 19, you know. It's good 20% each time. You can see it does it over and over and over again. So easy play for those who don't have, you know, don't have a lot of time to mess around. Literally just buy 16 or 15, sell 17, 18, 19. And then whenever you get the breakout here, you know, then we can, you know, mess around with that kind of entry. But yeah, that's it on that one. Yeah, SNT kind of late. Massive wicks are pretty damn intimidating. I don't like them, but I've just been kind of riding this 200 EMA the whole way up. Very straightforward. Lol. 4. Yeah, this is one that's been on my radar for a while. I drew this was, you know, back in November. I saw this and I was like, what the fuck is this? But I saw that line and then I was like, hey, it looks like a happy face. So then I just drew a picture of Goku. But this one's actually pretty interesting. Been on my watch list for a while. Still too soon. Honestly, I don't even know what kind of pattern this is called, but it's respecting it. Like it's some kind of wedge, but yeah, I've honestly never really played something like this before. But you can always just buy the daily close above. So keeping an eye on it. Pi was added to my radar today, but I don't know, you guys can ignore it for now. It's pretty choppy price action. I just like how it reclaimed the MAs on the 4 hour, and I don't know, I was trying to bust through on the daily, but meh. Nav's been going sideways forever. Look at this. So for almost 300 days, other than this massive move up. So I'm waiting. I don't know. I've thought about making a call to even bid this lower area. Because you can see it's been respected multiple times. But it's just kind of, it's literally dead center, not doing anything. So we'll see. Matic. You guys know I like Matic. It's retesting this 4 hour wedge again. I honestly don't know what it's doing. It has a lot of news this week though, so honestly buying at 189, I have a bag. By the way, I have a bag. Bought in at 188, targeting 224 hopefully. Really good entry point basically right now for anyone who's looking for an entry, as long as we hold these MAs slash the wedge. If we close back below here at 186, 187, that's not good. That's an exit, and you wait to see how price unravels. MDS can go. AAC. Fuck, I don't know what this fucker's doing. It's still like holding. It's holding the MAs. It's dicking around at the horizontal. I don't know. It's a little skeptical because I figured it would move up by now, but we'll see. CDT, another one. This one's gonna blow. Alex showed me this one. Look at this. This is a monstrous falling wedge. You have to zoom out on the weekly. Oops. Fuck off. Get rid of this shit. Zoom out on the weekly. This is a massive falling wedge. I posted about it on Twitter. I posted it as an active call. You can see price respected it here, here, here. So that's 3 points. And then, sorry, it's not really well drawn, but then here, here, and down here. So it's decision time soon. So I have a bag of CDT as well. Look at it. Look how close it is. It's pressing against it. So price needs to do something soon. I'm literally losing my voice. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute, guys. Those are the real ones I have my eye on. Yeah, KNC looks like shit now. Thought it was gonna hold, clearly didn't. Anchor's doing this like, this one I've been eyeing. I don't really know what the fuck, because in a sense it's broken out, it's retesting now, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. KSM not holding, but it's retesting the daily MAs and probably the 4-hour MAs, yeah. So I'm gonna just leave that alone. Yeah, so to answer your question, I'm mainly in Matic, CDT, Seller, and then I'm gonna bid ERD at 17. That's really about it on Binance. Yeah, that's really about it. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. Literally don't know if anyone's even watching anymore. Hopefully this wasn't me rambling too much. It was a pretty long stream, but yeah, almost an hour and a half. Fuck. So if you guys need anything, give me a shout, and we'll go over some more potential trades and charts next week. All right, thanks, guys.